am Sophie from Trident Wellbeing, and I help people with their abusive relationships and help them so that they can move forward and be the best version of themselves. Many of you listening to this will have experienced the things I talk about, but not realise you're dealing with a narcissistic personality. If you like what I have to say, please subscribe, like and share to help others in similar situations. These vlogs are a quick review of what you may or may not have experienced, and my hope is that they help provide clarity and direction as you move forward. Have you been in a relationship with someone and they are always gonna? Now this sounds great, right? They promise you something and you get your hopes up. Maybe it's as simple as in the workplace and they're going to do the required admin, make the appropriate sales call, etc. And this makes you feel that you're on the same page, collaborating and moving forward. Or perhaps it's a personal relationship. You've been arguing, or maybe you summoned up the courage yet again to broach a subject of how when they give you the silent treatment or passively aggressively seem to forget to do something that needs doing, that you feel disappointed and that you have to pick up the pieces again or find some way to fix the issue yourself. This is when you believe a promise that it won't happen again. In fact, they'll pay that bill, fix that roof, be home on time, whatever it is you feel like this time that they've promised, it's going to be real. Maybe you even feel it is because you explained it better or you used a less confrontational tone. But whatever it is, you now have a solid commitment from them and the resulting belief that this time they're going to do it. This time they'll follow through. Know how the consequences of not doing it are not about you, but that your intent is to keep things flowing smoothly. So you're not they're realizing you're not doing it from a selfish vantage point. All the bills are paid and you're not receiving penalties. Things that are fixed that cause damage if left unattended, like a leaky roof. Ugh, better do that because things are fixed that could cause damage if left unattended, like a leaky roof. This time, as you explained how it made you feel, why it was an issue, so you thought that they would definitely not forget. The forthcoming promise that they give you then alleviates your anxiety. Maybe you start to communicate more happily for a time and things look more positive. And then it doesn't happen again. This is called a future fake. This is when you are promised something to keep the peace. It's manipulative and the intent is really insincere and self-serving. It is not the odd time that they forget. We all do that. But rarely will we forget when the other person has expressed how important it is to them. Rarely will someone forget when they care about that person and what's important to their loved ones is also then important to them. However, when promises are made and you have a clear commitment given to you and they understand how significant this is to you, and yet again it gets pushed to the side. It is like and feels like you've been treated like a child. You can have that lolly if you're good, except that the lolly is never forthcoming. You have successfully been shut down for a time being. Have illusions that everything is going to be fine. Feel reassured that what they're saying this time is true and sincere. The problems come for the umpteenth time when you are disappointed, let down, and didn't see the promised result. These lead to feelings of frustration, disillusionment, disappointment, and now the problems increase. If you are with a true narcissist, they will have successfully future faked you, and when you bring it up, there's a very high probability that you will be gaslighted. As you mention, why isn't such done? You said you would do it yesterday. They will come back with retorts like, I said I'd do it, didn't I? I didn't say yesterday. Or they may try and gaslight you by making you sound like you're being totally unreasonable and it was no big deal at all. With comments like, why are you always on my case? Does it make you feel good to be having a go at me? Or are you just wanting to feel in control? For the normal person, you may then be stopped short in your boots. What? This wasn't your intent? You thought you had discussed this. You thought you were of the same understanding. And yet here you are having the same discussion over again, and it's making you look demanding, unreasonable, and controlling. You will know if this is narcissistic behaviour, as it will be repetitive. Often we can get sucked in as the issue may vary and we make exceptions in our minds. And this is why I'd like you to look for your clarity by taking note of each time your future faked or have had promises made to you and have then been shut down if any conflict arises or you express concerns that something didn't happen. This can also look like, I will definitely go to counselling if it's important to you, and I don't want to lose you. Yet they'll mysteriously be too busy to attend, the psychologist will be away, or, and I have heard this, the psychologist isn't answering calls or making a booking. If these are happening to you, you are being somewhat deceived. As a good therapist is wanting to help and be accessible, or otherwise you go look for a different practitioner to make appointments with. By you knowing where you have had these promises made and broken to you, you now have insight and you can predict future behaviour. This insight can then help you decide how you want to progress forward. Do you give up on asking for anything to avoid the false promises? Or do you knuckle down and push it, knowing that you will most likely have the tables turned on you? Even if they are turned, you'll then be assured of what behaviour you can predict. Knowing how someone will most likely act, you can then decide what you'll do next. There's no right or wrong. My goal here is that you're informed and that you can see a way forward, knowing what you'll hear in the future and knowing how it will feel. It can be a little bit like running. You know you've done it often enough that your knee is going to play up and feel weak. So you have a choice. Do you give up running on the road? Do you change to a treadmill, or do you use a brace to help you? For some, a new sport will feel more congruent. For others, knowing a brace that will support your knees will help you move forward, but with no great expectation that your run times are going to increase. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like and share, and help someone else today. Until next time, I'm sending you much love.